Alrighty, hello. How are you? Welcome to Bma's Crafty Corner. I am Bma, better known as Els. And wow, good stuff going on. I know why Rose was so tired last night. She's on her way to the hospital for grandbaby number 2. Her daughter's blood pressure got a little out of control, so they decided it's late enough. They're going to go ahead and induce labor. And so they're going to have a baby tonight.
Yay, baby.
Yay, babies. Love me some babies. All right. So what we're going to do today, and this is the first of like 3, possibly 4 parts, is we're going to talk about how to put a basic journal together. If you've never done a journal and you want to do this, the easiest way to do it is to kind of start off, like everything else, a little bit small. So we're going to start off with a single signature. And I am going to get this out of the way. There we go. Hello, Gypsy. Hello, Marie. Hello, Sherry. How you doing, babe? So we have options for, hey, hi, buddies. What are you doing? What do you got sticky on your back? Go take a bath.
I noticed that earlier. I don't know what it is.
Go take a bath. Go on, go get a bath.
I can't reach that part, Mom.
I know, right? All right, so a couple of things that we can use. Let's talk about it, because the most important part of this is going to be putting a cover on it. So let's look at some cover type materials. Obviously, these front pads, like the front sheet to your pad, this is chipboard you could make a front cover out of. Keep in mind that it's only going to be a 6-inch wide journal. So 7 or 8 inches tall, your cover will dictate what your inside piece is going to be. Obviously, you could use a piece of craft, like scrapbook paper if you wanted to as well. Okay. Now, having said that, let's look at some other options. Staying dry, right? The other option is a book. Now, my favorite book covers are these old Reader's Digest condensed books. Not great for a single signature. However, if you have a thinner book, you could certainly, if you had one that had a smaller spine, you could certainly use that book cover. And again, the size of the cover is going to dictate the size of your journal. I get these at the thrift store and at yard sales for yard sales, you can pick them up for like $0.25. Thrift stores are going to cost you about $1, maybe $1.25. And you can use the pages inside to make pockets and things, but you would definitely have covers. And we'll talk about gutting a book. I'll do that as well. I've done it in the past. We'll do it again. Another good place to start is a file folder or a hanging folder. And the reason I like these is because you can cut any size you want out of this. Now, this one happens to be vintage, but you can cut any size you want out of this, and you can use any color. If you have colored ones, or maybe you have some of the white ones, maybe you lucked out and got your hands on some of those, like the vintage style medical folders. Those are always good to use. We've used them in the past. I don't have one handy, and I didn't grab one out front out of the shop. Hey, Christine. The other option is this. This is a book cover, but see, it's got lined paper in it. So if you were going to take the lined paper to use in your journals, then you would gut this. Usually they're stapled, sometimes they're sewn, but they're pretty easy to gut this particular type of a book. You pretty much just have to cut these threads. So just get out a small pair of scissors and cut your threads, either on the inside or the outside. It doesn't really matter. And then you can pull these out. And this is what is called a signature page, because it is double-sided. You have 2 pages, and they're not torn in the middle. Okay. And I think we're going to go ahead and use this book cover. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. We'll use this as the cover for this journal. I'm not necessarily going to keep this design because I can change that with paper and other things. You can paint it, you can ink it, you can whatever you want with it, you know? So I have old fingers and they don't want to play this game. So let's go ahead and pull all of these. And this is pretty much the same technique that you will use to gut regular books as well.
Wait a second, buddy.
We'll just get the threads out of there. Ooh, somebody's getting on Daddy's last nerve tonight.
Oh,
He refuses to pee when we're outside, so he'll be outside for hours with us. And then we'll come in and 5 minutes later, he'll be like, I have to pee now. Okay. Cleaning a book is a very dirty job. Sticker. I don't want the sticker on there. You probably don't want the sticker. Sorry about the arm. This is where your heat tool comes in. This will work for just about every sticker. Warm it up. If it gets cold and it starts getting a little difficult, warm it up a little more. There you go. All right. Works really good on price tags too. So now I've actually got two benefits. One, I have a nice big chunk of signature paper. And these are all, I can leave them together or I can take them apart, stack them up. How it just depends on how you use your paper. We'll actually use a piece of this in this journal. So that's kind of using an existing book cover. This also works for kids' books. If you go to the thrift store, I know a lot of if you have elementary age students, grandchildren, things like that. I know that they will very frequently give the kids these very small, what they call throwaway books. They're very small. They're, you know, like this, but they're super, super thin. When your child or grandchild outgrows them, just keep them. You can also go down, a lot of public libraries have small shops where they sell their books for like 10, 50 cents, you know, from 10 to 50 cents. So you can do that as well. And then all you want to do is just make sure that you have it nicely lined up and hit it with a bone folder. Don't have a bone folder? That's okay. Use your scissor handle. Look, scissor handle. Works fantastic. Okay, so now I have a cover. I'm going to measure my cover. My cover is 6 inches by 8. So my journal is going to be 7.5 by 5.5 because I'm going to take ½ inch off. So my paper needs to be, when it's folded, 7.5 by 5.5. All righty. So let's look at papers that we can use. Let's talk about that because covers are pretty easy. Once you could use a cereal box. Okay. I mean, that's the truth. If you want, take a cereal box, take the front cover off of, the front piece off of that cereal box, measure it, find out where the middle is, fold it in half. You've got a single signature journal cover. Okay? Now, if you're using something like this and you want to glue stuff to it, hit it with a sanding block, or a nail file. You just want to rough it up enough to where you can get the glue to stick. You could also put, if you wanted to, you could also put some gesso on it. That will allow you to have a better substrate to connect to. Okay? So, let's talk about paper. Now, I have all kinds of paper. This is also from a book that I took apart, so I could use something like this. I have these. We'll talk about that in a second. Let me see if I've got another page. I'll need a second page to do it. Where to find it? All right. This is also out of a book, but you can see that it's longer, but that's okay. Let's use one of these because I want to show you a technique for that. There's that second piece we're going to need for that one. You can find papers like this in your thrift store. A lot of people buy, this is actually a 3-fold, like a pamphlet fold. And somebody bought it and didn't use it, but we can use it. So we're going to use that one. Now, if you have a piece like this, where it's white on the inside and you don't like the white, you can spray this with, you take instant coffee, dissolve it in water, put it in a spray bottle, you can spray it, and you'll get that coffee look. I do recommend that you press it afterwards. Just take a cool, like a low iron and just press it. Again, this is out of, some kind of a book that I took apart. What else? This is also from a book that I took apart, and you can see it's a longer page. This is from more of a, like a ledger, and these are single pieces, not signature sheets. We're going to cover that with this. I like this paper. It's waterproof. So we're going to put those back in the drawer. We'll talk about some other ones here.
Ticket number 3182-4107. Just wanted to talk to Lisa for a moment about the.
This is handmade paper. And we took this out of a book. This was a pamphlet stitched book. So I think there was only 5 stitches in it. We could use a piece of that. We could certainly use that as the cover too, because it's considerably thicker than regular paper. What else?
I thank Fees and Cox Business Support. And have a fantastic day now.
We can certainly use smaller paper if we wanted to put in a small page. Your paper does not have to be all the same size. We have ledger paper. And let's see what else we got that's good. It's cardstock. I don't want to use cardstock. This is this again is from the Dollar Tree. This is their their writing pad. That makes a good page in a journal. Of course, you can use straight junk if you want. You can just, junk paper. Absolutely. If you're going to cover it completely, do what you want with it, This is interesting paper. I got this. This is shaped paper. That's an interesting kind of paper. And of course, you have like your hand-dyed papers and things like that. We're going to get out some of that in a second here. This is more primary paper, but this is the long kind. And so you have 2 choices. You can go like this and then your lines go up and down. Or if you're doing a tall, skinny journal, you could certainly go this way with it. You can also use this to cover something else to put those lines in. And this is on newsprint, pretty common. Do we have anything else interesting down here? Of course we do. We have all kinds of interesting stuff. All right, let me grab some other paper options that we have. Okay, so other options we have are hand-dyed paper, or like this tea-dyed type stuff if you want to do like tea-dyed paper. Tea. Now, if you want some really nice paper, like really nice paper, you wouldn't necessarily cut it to 6x8. You cut it to the size you want. Then put in the paper. We're going to talk about the difference in a second. Okay, and then we have like hand dyes. So this is just regular paper. It's not your standard 20 pound, it's 22 pound copy paper that you can hit a whole ream of it. And you can dye this. There's many ways to do it. Some people do it with Kool-Aid. Some people do it with crepe paper. Some people do it with actual dye. Some people do it with ink. It's entirely up to you. All right. Now, if you want nice papers and you don't have a big budget, do what I do. Go to the thrift store. I buy a lot of this paper. This stuff is very expensive. This Southworth paper. This is ivory linen paper. This is what I tea dye. $1.99 at the thrift store. Let's see. This one is Wasu paper. Again, expensive. It's parchment. This one was $2.99 at the thrift store. This is, again, just parchment. It comes in different colors, so you can get different colors. This is a set that actually shows different colors because this is a sampler. It's a 24-pound paper. And it comes in, different colors. I've pulled a lot of the colors out of here, but you got like a gray and like a really dark gold, and then like a light blue silver, and then like a yellow gold. And again, see, this is 24-pound watermarked paper, and it's resume paper. It is linen. It dyes beautifully. It has a watermark on it. It's gorgeous for, doing it. And it's 100% cotton. This is cotton resourced cotton paper, okay? Okay, so I've said that the cover dictates the pages, but I'm also going to tell you that the pages dictate the cover. So if you want to use a file folder and you don't want to have to trim your paper down, if you fold your paper in half and you measure it, that is the biggest drawer, which is 8.5 by 5.5. That is the biggest that your journal can be. And you want it to be slightly larger, your cover slightly larger than your book. I say at 1/4 inch on all sides. But but you want to add 1/4 of an inch top and bottom and 1/4 of an inch here. So it's going to be 1 inch in height and 1/4 of an inch on the width. That's all you need to add. All right. Now, let's say you have paper like this and you want this to work. We've done this a couple of times, but we're going to do it one more time because I want everybody to know this technique. So over here, I have this, and this was in a spiral bound, and that's it. There's no signature to this, but I want to use it as a signature. So get out your scoreboard. You don't have a scoreboard? That's okay. Use your paper trimmer. There's a trick to that. Get out a scoring tool. You don't have a scoring tool? Use whatever you use. Come in about 1/2 inch. You want to go wider than this, and you want to score your paper. A couple of light scores is always better than, a deep gash, guys. I actually saw a lady scoring the other day. She broke her scoring tool. She was pushing so hard. And then fold that on the line. Doesn't matter, fold it up, fold it down. Okay? What you want to do is you want to put glue here where your fold is. Trying to remember not to squeeze this bottle where it goes gloop. Put your pages back together, press them, bring this one side or the other. It doesn't matter which side you bring it to. Bring it to either side. And then cover this with some washi tape, or just leave it the way that it is. But I like to cover it with washi tape, so let's grab a little bit of that, whatever we've got handy. We'll just use this one because it's a wide enough one. I like to use a little bit wider than, what my piece is. This one's kind of cute. About as long as I need. I'm going to put some glue stick on this because I don't know about you, but my washi tape does not stick unless it's sticking to my fingers, my board, or itself. I'm going to put that on. Let that glue dry for a second. And then I'm going to trim off the ends using my icky sticky scissors. These are the ones that I have glue all over, so I don't care about them. They're $1 a pair. Okay. So if you're going to use a file folder, yes, you could cut it to 6 by 8, and then you can just adjust your paper accordingly. All right, so we went ahead and we put that on there. And now I have a signature page. I have a page I can stitch into a signature. Is it going to need to be trimmed? Probably a little bit still, but you can make that adjustment here in the fold if you want to. So we have this piece and this piece. It's a little bit darker than I'd like, but so we'll use a piece of this. Why are you not moving? All right, you want to be difficult? Fine, difficult. We're having a baby. That one, we're going to fold this one. This one I'm going to fold a little bit different. I'm going to fold this part in a little bit, using the lines to make sure that it's straight. And then I'm going to fold that in half. You'll see. That one's already folded in half. This one, I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm going to fold in these parts. The outsides. Doesn't have to be even. We're going to use a piece of the original book from here. And one of these. So for me, usually I put 7 to 8 pages in a signature, but if it's a single signature book, I'll go as high as 10. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, we have 11. We're going to use 11. And I'm just going to put these together, one on top of the other, in an order that I think I like. I like a plain piece on the outside. Let's do this one a little bit higher. And this one in the middle. And this one. And I'm going to put in this one. I don't want the 2 pink ones right next to each other. This one. We'll put in this one. That's going to be interesting. And then this one. And this one. And we're going to keep a mind on this one. This one. All right. So now I have built a signature. Kind of sloppy looking. I want it to be nice and snug because you get this thing called creep. So now we have to decide how big this has to be. I'm going to bring back my cover and I'm going to see that I actually have to trim this all the way around. So I don't want it to be more than, I think we said, this is a 6-inch cover, so 5 3/4. So I want this to be 5 3/4, no more than 5 3/4. And then our height needs to be no more than, this is an 8, so 7.5. So now I'm going to clip this together. Here. And then I'm going to cut this. Now I'm going to be honest with you. The easiest, best way to cut this when you're cutting the entire signature is a razor knife and a metal ruler. Preferably one that's rubber or on the back or, cork or something so it doesn't slide. And then we're going to line this up here. I'm going to use one line for all of this. And we want to go, we said 5 3/4, 5 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3/4. Now, yes, is it going to be messy? Yeah, that's kind of the fun of this. Take those off. Those are great for strip projects. Then I want it to be 7 3/4 inches tall. So again, I'm just going to line this up. And then I'm going to find it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 3/4 inches. That leaves me quite a bit because I have a piece that is about 8 3/4. And so I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off top, 1/2 inch off bottom. Now, if I do that, because this one's taller, what I'm going to end up with is kind of a mess. So if you want this type of paper right here to be even, this one that has that weird kind of shape to it, you're going to want to take this out and cut it separately. Okay? But we want this to be. I'm going to take 1/2 inch off here. It's messy. And then we're going to find our actual height. 8 3/4 we're going to take. Did I say 8 3/4 or 7 3/4? 7 3/4. I'm going to take that 1/2 inch off here. We'll check. Okay. Whew, that's a scrappy. All right, so now I'll take my cover. Height is, a little tighter than I wanted it to be. As far as like it's got a little bit of space on each side. That's good. And it fits inside there. Okay. So we've prepped some paper. And we've cut it to the size that we need it to fit inside of our book. Let me go ahead and open this. So see, it's leaving about 1/4 inch all the way around. And that's kind of what we want. Now, let's take a quick look at our paper and make sure that we have it where we want it. Like this piece here is kind of all the way to the top. So I want to move it down a little bit because I want it to be a little bit more even. Perfect. This one's all the way at the bottom. I like that. I'm leaving it. Okay. Making sure that we have it going in the right direction. Use whatever clips you have. Okay? I am going to clip this on at least 2 sides. All right? And I'm going to place it where I want it in my book. And then I'm going to get down my foam because next thing we're going to do is we're going to poke holes. But we're not going to do that without a template. So let me show you how to do a template, okay? So we want to make a template. I recommend that you use cardstock. It doesn't have to be heavyweight, but it should be some cardstock. This is a piece of cardstock. It's not heavyweight, but it's a decent size. We measure our book top to bottom. That is 8 inches. We want this to be 8 inches. So I'm using my board here because this is probably the easiest way to cut anything. Now, single signature is a little bit easier to make this piece for because all you really need to do is find out how big your paper is. And you just need to kind of fold it in half. So if you just manually fold this in half, you're going to have that center. Do I need to use my bone folder? No, I have a freaking pair of scissors. Come on, people. Let's work on this. Here we go. Holy crap, you're stranded on Queen's Island? Bed. Okay. You're trying to charge your device? Yeah, that's cool. Hi, Michelle. Did you get the, Michelle, did you get the message from Rose? She put it in our group chat. Her blood pressure's been high. They are taking her to the hospital. She's having the baby. They're going to induce labor. So we'll hopefully have a baby by tomorrow. All right, so now we have this. This is the template that we're going to use to poke all of our holes. Let's start with the paper. We're going to take that, and it's going to go in the center here. Okay? So we want to put it in and get kind of, an even top to bottom here. It does not have to be perfect, but as close as possible is good. Okay, a little bit more on the top. And then I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to draw a line here. I'm going to draw a line over here. This is more important when you're doing multiple signatures, but we're doing it anyway because it's a good habit to have, okay? That line is the top of our signature, so we don't want to get too close to this when we put in our, you guys know, our holes. So what we're going to do is open our piece of paper, and we're going to fold it in half this way. Now we have 1, 2, 3 locations, but we want more. So what I do is I fold this part back, and then I fold this into the center. Same thing over here. I'm going to fold this, and then I'll fold that into my center. And I'm going to draw some lines on here so you guys can see what we're looking at. Okay. So we have, I really got to learn to keep this thing out. We have our center line, a center line, and then we have a line here, and we have a line here, right there. And we have our lines on the ends, okay? These are our 5 points that we're going to poke holes to stitch. All right? You can go out. So I'm going to set this all aside for a minute, including this, because now we're going to talk about thread. This is the part that can make or break your journal, and I'll tell you why. I have seen people work on journals for a very long time. Then they stitch the whole thing in, and the first time it gets opened, it falls apart. All right, Christine, are you okay? Like, are you okay? Because you're worrying me. Hi, Janie. Okay. All right. As long as you've got enough, a regular landline nearby or enough charge on your phone that you can call them if you need to. Woman. Okay. So we're going to talk about threads. Well, we're going to take the cat off. Let's take the cat off. No, you know what? I've got some here. I think in one of these drawers, I guess also. Yep. Here we go. All right. So there are several kinds of thread that you can use to bind your book. You can get this. This is from the Dollar Tree. This is Baker's twine from the Dollar Tree. I know that they sell it on spools sometimes, and sometimes they have it in that package. Let's see if I have one. I probably don't. But sometimes they sell it like, in that package where they have like, it's on a, like something like this, and there's like 2 or 3 colors on it. It's perfectly good. Okay. But you can use Baker's twine to tie your book in. I do not recommend like this kind of stuff. Don't use, no. And I'll tell you why. Because if you pull on this stuff like long enough, it shreds. So don't use that. Let me see. But, any of these Baker's twines, you can use these, okay? Let's get that out of the way. The next thing is this. This is embroidery floss, and you can buy it on a spool like this. I don't recommend the spools, and I'll tell you why. Because this is very, very thin. Now, embroidery floss typically has silk in it, so it's reasonably strong. But it's a very thin string. The ones that I do recommend are the ones that come in the spools like this with the little cards on them, little tags around them here and here, because these are thicker. They're 6-ply, so they're much thicker. Also, this, which is friendship cord bracelet, you can buy this in most kids' craft areas, and it's cheaper than any, that type of stuff. But this is more like a thin rope, and it's reasonably, it's pretty dang strong. Okay. So that's another option. What I prefer is this. This is a waxed linen thread. And the reason I like it is because when you tie the knot, the wax from the friction will melt, and then it will re-solidify, and it will lock your stitching in. It comes in a god-awful amount of colors. I carry this in the shop in these little spools like this with single colors on them. If you want to grab some, just let me know. I'll send you one. I don't care. Or, I'll send you a piece from my spools, because I have multiple spools of this sitting around here. I have like 3 or 4 different spools right here at my desk. And then I have probably, 20 more in the other room. One over there. And you can get these in lots and lots and lots of colors. We're going to be using, I think, apricot today. So let me grab that one. I use it to hold my brayer. You're going to want to watch this back, because you're going to want to pause it and do each step. That's why I do my videos the way that I do them. It's so you can pause it and create, and then watch and pause and create and go back. Okay. A needle. This can be, as long as it's metal, do not use the plastic ones, guys. And you don't want it to be too huge. And it does not need to be sharp. It could be like, plastic canvas where it's a blunt tip. The one that I typically use when I'm sewing in a signature with you guys is about this long. It's a doll's maker's needle. And the reason that I use it is so you guys can see it. Because this is very hard to see. And if I'm putting this through books, you're not going to see it necessarily. So I use the bigger one so you guys can see it. Okay. So we're going to be using linen thread today. And we're going to come back to this. And this is the most important thing. Designate one part of this as your top and mark it. This is my top. Why? Because if you are doing multiple signatures and you want them to line up, then you want to know where the top is, okay? So we're going to fold this little sucker in half. We're going to put it back in here, and we're going to match up our line, top and bottom. And then we are going to poke some holes. Now, do you have to have an awl for this? No. You could use a couple of different things. Basically, you just want something that's going to poke through. I like to start in the middle. And of course, I did this so that the lines are on the other side, and you guys can't see these. But here, I will do it this way because I can. Okay, so I'm going to poke basically right into that center. And I'm going, you'll see I go in and then out, and then I go out, and then I go out. And I'm going to put this one just before the end. Doop. Doop. Okay, so there's my 5 holes. Put it to the side. Now take out your cover. You do the same thing on your cover. Only you'll notice that our piece of paper fits perfectly in our cover. Now there's a lot of holes already in here, so this could be confusing for the first time that you work with this, but I'm going to tell you what, these holes are going to be bigger. Okay, you can see they're bigger holes. Okay, so now we're going to talk about stitching that in. Nope, a prototype is never a bad thing. All right, there's a lot of people that go measure your thread going 1, 2, 3, and that's all you need. Use it for something else. Get what you need and then some. Thread your needle. I can't see crap because I'm holding blind. I'm threading my needle. Now I'm going to bring my signature in, my cover, which is pinned together with my clips. If you don't have big clips like this, that's okay. I use big clips so you guys can see them. Put a regular paper clip on there if that's what you got, baby. They just got to the hospital? Okay. So then we're going to put this on here. We're going to go through, and we start in the center. Now, truthfully, you can start any damn place you want. It is entirely up to you. If you want your stitching at the top, do it at the top. I don't care. You can start on the outside. And what I do is I come in like this and then find a way to lock this, even if that's just holding it with your thumb. Okay? And then you're going to come down, doesn't matter, up or down. Through there. This is a pain in the butt. You're going to go through your hole here. Through your hole in your pages. This never lines up properly. It's never easy to do. So just be patient with it. Be mindful of that. Okay? So we've gone down, we've come back up. Now we're going to go back down. Through our paper, through our cover. This is a simple figure 8. Don't make this overcomplicated. It is a figure 8, and I will show you that in just a second. And I come back up through the hole that I came up from before, and then move this tail out of the way. We're going to go back down here. And we're going to repeat this on the other side. Moving down to the next available hole. Through the hole, go in the hole, go in the hole. Up through the paper. Next available hole. Through there. You can make it. There's quite a bit of paper here on the end. What the heck? Did it shift? I think it shifted. It did. It shifted. Don't do this. You'll poke yourself. Don't do that. I'm a crazy lady. I do it all the time. And then where do we go? Next available hole. There's a hole here. It's available. Even though it's got something in it, it's still a hole. Go through and come back up. That is a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. Then you go around this stitch here and come back. Why? Because now you're not pulling on the paper, you're pulling on the stitching itself. Okay? Right over left. Left over right. And see that friction, that action of pulling these threads? That is what's going to melt and then re-adhere your wax, which is why I like this. Cut these at any length you want. They stand up really cute. Gonna have a baby, gonna have a baby. Now you can take these off and you have a simple single signature journal. We're going to talk more about decorating this in a couple of different styles over the next couple of weeks. But I want to talk more about that, the stitching. So we're going to use our guide for it. When I'm stitching this, and I go through the middle, and then I go to the next available hole. Okay, and I'm going to try and leave this kind of out a little bit so you guys can see it when I stand it on its side. You'll see it's just a figure 8. So there's your S, right? Then we're going to go back through here and cross our 8. And then back through the center. And I'm going to show you this sideways because now you'll see it. Do you see that that is just a figure 8? So I'm basically doing a figure 8 on the bottom and a figure 8 on the top. That's literally how to sew these in. And if you, for whatever reason, you stitch through the thread, Like you go to pull this one and you find out, you're going to pull this and you find out that the other one moves. Well, just take the damn needle out, pull the stitch out, put the needle back in and start over. But you can see it's just a figure 8. Look, I've had people tell me that they could not figure this out. But when I show it to them this way and that it's just a figure 8, they go, holy crap. Because they've been making it very difficult for a very long time. Now, why do it in a figure 8? Because I'm going to show you. We have connected, we have a stitch here and a stitch here and a stitch on the other side and a stitch on the other side. So we have 2 complete stitches holding that in. Now we're going to do a 3-hole. And with a 3-hole, what you do is you go here and you go down. And then you come up over here. And so far, so good. But then you come all the way back down. And then you come back up through here. You have 2 stitches. Let me get this extra thread out of the way. You have 2 stitches on this side, but you only have 1 on this side.
Jennifer, this is Mike with Cox Business Support calling on a recorded line. How you doing this evening, ma'am?
So let me show you what this looks like. Let me open it up.
I'm sorry. I apologize for calling so late, but I
so that's a 3-hole.
Just put in the ticket, so you might still be available.
You only have 1 here. And then the thought of this is that you're supposed to tie these together, but you don't have anything to draw against. There's no
being online, so
no way to tighten it. It is what it is.
For the phone.
You're just going to tie this, and so sometimes if you get it a little loose, like one of these stitches is too loose, there's no way to tighten that. And so when you pull it to tie it, you leave it loose, and then it kind of wiggles and things move and shake. And that's why I don't like 3-hole.
Okay.
Now I will use a 3-hole on like a pad. If I'm making like a little notepad or like a little teeny book to put in a journal, like if I'm making a little notebook to put in, I will use a 3-hole because it's quick and it's easy. And it's the lazy man's binding. And I know that when I started doing this and I started doing a 5-hole, nobody did a 5-hole. Now it's like the most common one because people are starting to see that it's actually stronger. So that is our basic single signature journal. Okay. Next week we're going to do.
Right, so here's what I'm seeing so far.
We're going to start some pockets, and we're going to take a look at why we folded these pages and what we're going to do with them. Okay, so we're going to be doing that.
I see the internet modem.
And this one, we're going to work those into this. And
see the one for the wireless.
We're going to do everything. We're going to add some tabs. We're going to put in pockets. We're going to make some journal cards for it. We're going to make some tags for it. We are going to maybe add some lace to some of the pages and some other decor. We're going to be making some ephemera to go in here. So find a pad that you like or a digital that you like from Etsy. Here's the thing. If you go onto Etsy and you put in junk journal kit, and then you set your parameters for like $2, you're going to get some junk journal kits. And you're going to get some nice ones that even the expensive ones that are on sale, if they're under $2 or under $3, it's going to be there. Then just order it and print it. And you can actually, if you don't have a printer at home, you can actually send and get it printed at like your local Office Depot or something like that. Or maybe you have a friend or something that has a printer that will let you print it with for them. I have found that the new HP printers, you don't have to have the special printers anymore.
I wanted to make sure that if I can see it, that we know that portion's good. But if we're not even sure, okay.
Because the new HP printers, their ink is less likely to run. I use just a regular, it's a 6001 Smart Tank. It's just a desk jet. And I have actually decoupaged it, and it doesn't run. You have to be a little ginger, but it doesn't run. Okay? So, If you want to get this, like I said, you can buy it by the
Right.
spool like I have, or you can get a smaller spool of it from somebody like me who sells on Etsy. I'm not saying I have the best price. I'm not even saying that I have a good price. I don't know. It's been a while since I've checked the price on that one, but if you want to order it, you can order it through the shop.
Right.
Or just let me know that you need one, and I'll get it
my
out to you. It's no big
curiosity
deal.
whether the equipment was plugged in or if it's sitting in a box.
But I do have a lot of different colors in the shop. Go over to Etsy, get yourself a digital, because we're going to use it to make some stuff. If you don't have a digital, get a scrap of paper pad if that's what you have. Whatever you want to use to decorate this, it doesn't really matter. If you need some free digitals, let me know. I will get you a list of some free digitals. There's a couple of designers that put out like 4 and 5 page sets that you can use to decorate this. But we're going to be doing that next week. We're going to be doing some pockets and things like that. And we're going to do it step by step by step. I'm going to teach you how to do some pockets. We're going to talk about doing some basic belly bands, basic, corner pockets, those kinds of things, how to deal with these flips that we put in. We're going to do it all. Just a little at a time. Okay? I think that's it for me tonight. I am going to go and take my Excedrin and curl up in a ball and die, because I can't take the barometric pressure from the rain. If you don't know, I broke my back in 3 places many years ago now. And it's still fractured because your vertebrae never heals. It just kind of, I have, one of my breaks is by my occipital nerve. And when we have humidity, when it gets like this and there's barometric pressure, it swells and it causes my occipital nerve.
Whatever it takes.
It gives me a migraine. So I live with one on a regular basis. But when it's like this, it's worse.
Put this back in.
So simple, easy, basic. We have the basic structure of putting together our book. Remember, you just give yourself like a 1/4 inch, top, bottom, and one side. So 1/2 inch on your height, 1/4 inch on your width. Okay? Then build your template. Take your piece of paper, come in a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch on either end, then fold it in the middle, fold it into that line.
That's fine.
And you're going to create this template that's going to help you put your holes in. Make sure that you mark your top. Always mark your top. Thank you for reminding me, Christine. Always, always, always mark your top. That way you keep all of your, if you start going to multiple signatures, you can actually keep them all together. Okay? I'll tell you what, next week I will show you guys my very first ever journal. I still have it. The very first one I ever made. I still have it. Hey, we aren't talking about that anymore. We don't talk about the trapeze thing.
Okay. All right, so I got you in for
my grandson's been calling. He's been texting me every day going, "Are you okay, Bima? Are you okay, Bima? Are you okay, Bima?" Because he didn't see me fall off the thing. He just saw me in the pit. I guess his mom told him later I fell off of it or jumped off of it. And now he's like, "Are you okay? Okay, I don't want you to get hurt on my birthday." Mari, I was at the gym, a kids play gym, and I went on the first thing and I went on the second thing, and then I was stuck on the cheese and I couldn't get off. So I kind of jumped to the ground. I just kind of let myself fall to the ground, and I couldn't get out of the ball pit. So Buggy came by and I made him jump in so that I could spring out. Yeah, it was a thing.
The internet, I see you've got like a 20 by 100.
All right, so lots of weirdness, lots of strange stuff going on in here, but we're going to deal with each and every one of these,
which would not be ours,
and we're going to do some stuff. Okay, normally I build my signatures before I put them in, but with a single signature book, you don't really have to do that.
But that seems to be functional at this point, so
you can if you want to. That's the way you work. It's been a while since I've worked with one this way, so we're going to have to work on that.
Do you know if the modem for the phone service has been thrown in a box somewhere, or if someone there might know where it is?
This is Friday? Is this Friday? I don't know what freaking day of the week it is.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
It's Thursday.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, we're not going to work on this. I'm not going to work on this tomorrow. Tomorrow's on actual craft with me.
You know what?
We're gonna
I've
do,
been on all sides of this because I was an EMT.
We'll do something else.
Or,
We'll build some
yeah.
pockets or something.
So
I think we'll do
I
some.
sort of liken firefighters to Marines.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll do
it's
some
balance
coin
of,
envelope pockets.
what they, you know,
I love that stuff. So we're gonna do that.
So,
I'll teach you how
yeah.
to do the coin envelope if you don't know.
Okay, so yeah, you
God,
can
he's
find
getting
out
so
what the
loud, you
equipment
know?
is so that they know who to hand it off to in the morning, so that they can give it to the technician, and that way at least you know that portion of the battle has been fought. So okay, is there anything
Yeah,
else I
you're gonna
can
call me
assist you
Trappy
with?
Sleep.
And what
You know,
we
I know
will
where
do
you
is
live,
pick you
woman.
up on this after
And you know I will come up
the
there and kick your butt.
Like, what I say, 10 to 12. At 12 o'clock, it'll hit my team, and we'll check to see how you're doing.
Don't you laugh, Christine. I have your address too.
Anything else I can do with? All right, my pleasure. I thank you for using Cox, and have a fantastic day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, I was. I was going downhill. I was actually just coasting, really, and I got that fast. And then my daughter called me 90 miles an hour, mother. 90. Yeah, you worry word. You shouldn't drive that fast. Did you live? Shut up. Boy, it's been a day today, hasn't it? All right, I'm trying to get this. I'm gonna go in my bucket, my monkey bucket. I love my monkey bucket. Just show you. He's a monkey. He's a monkey bucket. All right. So tomorrow we're going to be doing some. I'm going to show you how to make some coin envelopes if you don't have any. So just some little coin envelopes, and we'll do some decorating on those. And then this we'll do next week. We'll come back and start. So you have a whole week to rewatch tonight's video and put this together and get to this point. Okay? Use whatever paper you want. Use whatever cover you want. Use whatever thread you have. As long as it's got some, some tinsel string to it. Again, best options here. Baker's twine, friendship cord, the 6-string embroidery floss, or the waxed linen thread. Best options. Plastic canvas needle or like a dull darning needle will work as long as it has a big enough eye for you to get the thread through. Here's a trick. If you can't get the thread through, use a regular piece of thread, fold it in half, put the loop through, then put your thread through the loop and pull it back. It's a loop. It's how to thread a needle. Miss Maggie, Happy New Year, my dear. You were not in last night, but I think, let me check. I think you're over there. Let me look. Yes, Miss Maggie, you want a prize? Your prize was for having the highest percentage points overall. You had 1,448 points over 38 weeks, which gave you a 42.58 per week average. So you won, we did a random number draw kind of thing, and you won this beautiful vintage ladies desk set. I got this out at Goat Feathers a while back, and it has this beautiful crown detail on it, and they have like little amethyst stones at the top, and there's a little pair of scissors in there, and a little letter opener, and then you have a little hook for like cleaning under your nails and stuff, and then there's a nail file. So it's a little ladies desk set. It's not complete. There should be like 6 pieces to it, but picked it up out there, and it is stinking adorable. And so that was the one that you won. You won the vintage prize last night. So they're all going to be mailed out after the 5th. All prizes are going out after the 5th. Wow. Why? Because I'm supposed to have a sale on the 4th, and I haven't gotten it together yet. All right, guys, here's the test. Ready? Let's see how well you listened. What can you use as a cover for a journal? Anybody? Anybody? File folder, almost anything. A cereal box, very good. Those are good answers. A placemat, yes. If you want to do a soft cover, you can use a placemat. If you don't want to do a soft cover, you can get one of these placemats, the ones that I use all the time on my desk to, keep from making a disaster. You could use one of these and just cut it to the size you want and then fold it. It will fold, okay? Dollar Tree, guys, Dollar Tree. What else? All right, so what size paper do you want to use based on your cover? What do you want to leave on all three sides? Let's see if anybody gets this one. Package envelopes like Amazon, yes, those do work. See, you're all stuck on that number. You want to use, your paper needs to be 1/2 inch shorter and 1/4 inch narrower when folded in half to fit inside your cover. Christine got it. Inch. It's basically an inch, guys. So the rule is 1/4 inch on all three sides. That's it. Okay. Yes, of course you could make it 6 by 6 if your cover is 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. All right. Let's see. When making your template, what is the most important mark to make on it? Top, exactly. All right, you guys listened. I'm so proud of you. All right, guys, we're going to work on this next week. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing some coin envelopes, faux coin envelopes. I'm going to show you how to make them. They're pretty simple little pocket things, So I'm going to show you how to make the little pocket things so that we can decorate those, put those in our book. All right, so new here, get a copy of the list. Like I said, I'm updating this over the next couple of days. I'll have it done by the end of the weekend. So, because like right now, it still has October and November stuff in it and December stuff. And we don't want that. We want to go into the January stuff. So I want to update all of that. What else? You can get that either here in the posts or on the Facebook group. It's pinned at the top. What else? Free digitals are available over on my Ko-Fi. There are some paid digitals on my Patreon. You can always join my Patreon. There's a lot of stuff going on over there. And they get free quarterly projects and free happy mails and all that stuff. Getting ready to put all that stuff out. I'm working on it, guys. It's been rough. It's been raining here for on and off for 2 weeks now, and it's just killing me. Let's see what else. Well, if you want to cyber stalk me, go down to the description box, click on more. It's going to give you my email address, my Instagram, my Facebook. It just gives you everything. It really does. It's just got links and links and links and links and links and stuff. All right, guys, I love you and welcome to the new year. Remember, if you have ideas for journals or projects, let me know. Also, keep in mind, if you see a video of something and you're like, I really like this, but I can't do it based on how they did it. If you send me that video, I will make that project. If I can, I will make that project. I will make it step by step for you. Give them credit, give you credit for sending it to me, and I'll send you the finished project. So, also start thinking about those journal ideas because we're going to be doing that. Pick a journal this year where you guys are going to send me ideas for your journals. I will pick one, and that is the journal we are going to make. Okay? That's it, guys. That's all I have for you until I see you again. Stay warm. Stay hydrated. Stay well, my friends. I love you guys, and I am so glad that we're starting off 2026 together. Until tomorrow, bye-bye.